Hi, I'm Maureen Mickey Carroll with Kansas District 2 Authors Club and also with Autumn Car Press. And I am here to welcome a bevy of beautiful, wonderful poets for the April 2025 Poetry Month celebration. Woot woot! So I'm going to start with um, Anna Wilkins, and we're going to each have 4 minutes to read. And then at the end, I'm going to invite everybody to just celebrate for a minute with Kansas Authors Club. And if you have any questions or anything, and we're going to share this recording. So thanks for joining us. And Anna, would you go ahead and get started for us?
Gladly. Hello, everyone. My name is Anna Wilkins, and I'm a local author here in Topeka, poet, screenplay writer, and author. My poem today is called She Writes. And since this is about spring, this was very short, but I think it ties into what the theme is. She writes. There are women who control the pen. She writes prose and haikus and smiles at the words penned from flashes of memories like light bulbs of flowers and buds. Blooming is her poem. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Um, Barbara Waterman Peters, would you read for us next?
Yes, I will be happy to. Excuse me. My name is Barbara Waterman Peters. I am an artist and writer from Topeka. I have three poems, short ones, this evening I would like to read for you. The first one is titled, It's Time. Past time, really, to get a hold on my life, to grab it, not to follow it like a story someone else is writing. High time, really, to go back to my life, to live it, not to watch it like a movie someone else is filming. This poem is titled The Black Clock. A little clock sits on the table, completely black, except for thin gray marks, hours and minutes along the edges of its face. Plain, no nonsense. Slender gold hands give the time, visible at a glance in analog, dependable and accurate. But there lurks a ghost in the machine. A sweet second hand appears and disappears, coy and capricious. And finally, life now. Counting it in months, 11 seems better, easier than 44 weeks or god awful days that overwhelm. Spanning 4 seasons, out of kilter and control. My life caught in a quagmire, my muse undermined. Watching precious time pass by, willing, open, unused, I slip further away from my former life, unfulfilled. balancing a now different from a then, empty hours, blank canvases, lost chances, pain. Will I overcome? Thank you.
Thank you. Diane Silver.
Hi, I am Diane Silver, and I hope that if you like what you hear, you will check out my Substack, which is called Poetry and Life. It's at dianesilver.substack.com. I have three short poems for you today. The first one is entitled, I Know I Shouldn't Write. Too old, too late, too poor, too worn out, too ignorant to even start, too dull of mind, too queer, too weird, too fat, because figures always count. Too female for that matter, because female always matters, like the cut of my clothes, the hair in my nose, the red on my face when I ugly cry, the place I live that critics claim hasn't ever been worth writing about. But what of the mornings when my heart rises up and the light of my words spills out? Thank you. Thank you. Second one is called Me Defined. Double chin, big belly, ample bosom, short, a man's cropped hair, lesbian, dyke, use the old slang, say bull dagger. If I were to hobnob with debutantes, I'd be in the back of the ballroom. They'd be bending willows in their white ball gowns, crinoline stiffened skirts, their arms bare. Even in my best jeans, crisp white shirt collar up, black blazer, I'd be the bolder. Too big to be fashionable, too weird to be heard. I'm the one the kids at school laughed at. The one thing you never wanted to be if you were a girl. The one whose kind has never blessed a magazine cover. The one who blushes, even though I feel about myself the way roots must feel about their oak. The way the sea must feel about its tallest wave. The way I hope you feel someday. Thank you. It is so weird reading online because I can see you all moving and I hear nothing. And here's my final poem. It's called Should You Choose to Accept, Your Mission is to Find Joy. At the bottom of this hole, buried so deep between walls that you have to crawl, raise your head, listen. Somewhere on the other side of this concrete, this steel, this lash of soot and words that pelt your face, waves sing on sand. Out there, the horizon is an unwritten line, the sky an open plain, the water a runway. It's open. You could go. Thank you all for listening. Do check out my Substack, dianesilver.substack.com. End of commercial. Looking forward to hear the rest of you.
Thank you. Bruce Rolfe, would you read for us next?
Pardon me? You hear me?
Yep.
Hello, my name's Bruce Rolfe. About 20 years ago, I enrolled in a fiction writing course that was combined with poets. It seemed unfair to me that poets were only required to write a few lines, and I was required to write a 2,000 or 1,200 word story every week. So I tried my hand at a short poem entitled Sympathy versus Respect. I got no sympathy turning 30, 40, and 50 from those 60, 70, and 80. So now at 90, I haven't got the respect of Willard Scott. It'll take another decade, I suspect, to get both sympathy and respect. So this kid says, "You're 90, man? I can't believe you're 90." I had to remind him in more earthly language than I normally use that this was also a fiction writing course. Since then, in addition to my novels, I've also written 2 stage plays, one of which was a main stage production and an uncounted number of rhyming and non-rhyming poems. So here, depending on time, are 2 or 3 samples for your enjoyment. This one is daguerreotypes in a hallway. Gazing at Mom's photo when she was 3 is like looking back and peering into the future, 30 years before I was born. It's also very difficult to believe she died 38 years ago tomorrow. Dad's wearing an Air Force uniform, and I'm not yet a twinkle in his eye. He had a reputation as a rake and married 6 times before he passed away. My grandmother is a young woman, though not very beautiful. It's hard to see just why she caught my grandfather's eye. I was quite young when he cut off his toes with the lawnmower, but I know they're missing beneath his shoe in the picture on the wall. Little girls grow into old ladies, leaving behind memories crocheted in doilies and afghans, or hand-stitched in quilts. From time to time, a whiff of bacon cooking, or the scent of White Shoulders cologne as a stranger passes will stab at my heart. Little boys become old men, reminiscing about feats accomplished in their youth. Memories of those stories seem to be jogged more by activities like playing baseball or fly fishing than old photographs in the hallway. Next one is unrequited youth. Drool trickles from the corner of my mouth as I sit reflecting on my life. It's not something I can control any more than your existence, if in fact you do. Are you out there, born of an adolescent indiscretion, or perhaps a later tryst of unrequited youth? I often wonder how it would feel to meet and what we might say. I apologize for not being there throughout your life, but romantic rendezvous have 2 sides, and I can only take responsibility for one. Perhaps your mother never told you either, which is doubly sad because we've both lost more than we should have. Although I can't say that I love you, please don't hate me. And to lighten it up a bit, I would like to read Black Frosting. Arriving home with boss in tow, smoke billows through the window. First impressions have gone awry as more smoke fills the sky. In the kitchen, wife is frantic, burning croutons in a panic. Introductions are made in haste amid the cloying aftertaste. Another hour to stand and wait with hors d'oeuvres on tiny plate, a glass of wine in bended arms, swearing at the smoke alarm. Once again, a plume is rising, only this time not surprising. Black frosting covers all the steaks, potatoes, casseroles, and cakes. Alerted by the high-pitched beacon and a nod from kitchen deacon, battery pulled by good wife Betty quietly signals dinner's ready. And you can reach me on bruceroff.com. Look up my novels.
Thank you. Margaret Peg Dickles.
Margaret Peg. Congratulations, Bruce, for being an Amity finalist. That's really great.
Well, thank you.
My pen name and the name that I am mostly known by is Peg, which is a nickname for Margaret. I have lived in Olathe most of my adult life, with a few detours to other parts of the world, including Ukraine. Many years ago, I spent a weekend in Kiev. I would like to read my poem, Friendship Fountain, which was published in the summer 2023-24, The Right Bridge, for which the theme was solitude and solidarity. And if I pick up the right piece of paper, I will have it here in front of me. Okay, I dream alone. I dream in solitude. I dream of a fountain, a friendship fountain, to be presented as a heartfelt gift for the brave people of Ukraine. I need an engineer. I need a hydraulics engineer. I need an experienced hydraulics engineer to bend the pipes, install the pumps, design the valves and the weirs. Now I am not alone, 2 together, not alone. We searched some sculptors. we search a few skilled sculptors to craft stalks of wheat and sunflowers and birds on invisible rods of glass flying over the top of the waters. We too have become a group. And we are not alone. Our little group grows bigger by the dozens, dozens of dozens, hundreds of dozens. They're hearing what we're doing. Now they want to see. A friendship fountain taking place, getting ready for its voyage from Atlantic shores to the Black Sea and through the waters of Crimea, a symbol of solidarity with the freedom-loving people of Ukraine. Why did I write that poem? I've written several poems about a friendship fountain, and I can probably most explain with another poem. The message. A gesture, a message, a fountain. Dancing waters blessing the air with moisture. Sun-worshipping sunflowers, stalks of golden wheat. Birds flying atop the waters. A gift from us to the freedom-seeking people of Ukraine. A gesture, a message the whole world will understand. The end. Thank you, Maureen, for giving us the time to shine, and I yield my time.
Thank you, Peg. Appreciate having your poem and you here. How about Conlon Murphy? Will you read for us?
Yes, I'm Conlon Murphy. I'm better known by my pen name, Conlon Sinclair, after a very illustrious cousin of mine, Henry Sinclair, who supposedly sailed to Minnesota during the Viking Age, but nobody really believes that, sadly. This is a short poem about spring. When I think of spring, I think of the animals that come out in spring. Is there a doctor in the house? Shouted little Miss Mouse. Mr. Frog has the flu. He is sick, it's quite true. The doctor took Mr. Frog away. Indoors he would have to stay. Mr. Frog felt so alone. He could only complain and moan to the bumblebee who lived next door, and to stare over the black moor. The very lovely little Miss Mouse decided that she would go to his house with gifts of fruit and honey, which she had got with her sewing money. Mr. Frog put on his little green mask and made sure he was up to the task. Little Miss Mouse said with a smile, "Hello, Mr. Frog, it's been quite a while." "Why, little Miss Mouse, thank you so much. I feel much better. No need for a crutch." They laughed and played cards. They discussed the old bards. It was a wondrous day to stay in and play. Even though Mr. Frog had been ill, he and little Miss Mouse ate their fill of snacks so yummy and candy so gummy. At the end of the day, little Miss Mouse still wanted to play, but she needed to go home. And Mr. Frog had to go back to Dr. Gnome the next morning for his checkup. Afterwards, he went and got a cup of tea so sweet and mellow to celebrate being a healthy fellow. To little Miss Mouse did he go to say thank you and hello. And you can find me at Conlon Sinclair on medium.com, Connlyn, Sinclair, Sinclair. Thank you so much.
Thank you. J.A. Joe McGovern, will you read for us?
Can you hear me okay? Awesome. Thank you for putting this together, Mickey and Amber. It's going to be a wonderful event. Appreciate having me on board. So I have three short poems from my book, Words Left Unspoken. The first one I'm going to read is To the Night. I look to the horizon, the east side of us. Eyes drift apart to the west end of love. Dusk comes forth as we leave dawn behind. The edge of earth sits still to rest easy. An orange glaze and purple haze ahead. Prepare for nightfall. Bring shades over our eyes so we can dance. Yes, dance, dance into the night. With tears of the moon burning in our heart, move together to the beat of screaming winds. Howl through the eve like a white wolf on a lonesome night. Breathe deep, my beloved. Breathe for me. Behold the cold glaze of your lips. Exercise our right to love and dance. Never stop. Dance until we fall to the ground. Dance till the rooster calls upon the sun and love remains by your side. So that's To the Night. Thank you. The next one I'll read is called Dreamland. It's a little bit more soothing. I followed the crooked brook last night, with crystal water flowing through my palms, passing the fingered riverbeds with cherry blossoms. I traveled to the valley of hope and free, lying amongst a sycamore tree in the forest of dreams. I observed life's purpose in a bee's flight, searching for peace in heart. Upon my wake, there was not a sound, neither a cricket nor an owl sang in the midnight breeze. I felt clear and at ease, finding silence and still. Looking to the night, I saw the reflection of an evening moon to soothe me. I wandered back to sleep, to step back into the land of dreams, where I can rest by the cherry blossoms and a sycamore tree. And the last poem I'm going to read is called Baby Sparrows. Baby sparrows rest in nest, patiently waiting the day they learn flight. Mother protects as feathers grow plump, wing movement forms in balance. Sunday, shine. Mother kicks out, now fly. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you listening.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Barry Lewis.
Yes. All right. My name is Barry Lewis. I'm not sociable enough for social media, so you won't find me anywhere, assuming anyone wants to look. My first poem is With This Pen, I Write Myself Thin. No latest fads, no tummy tucks or belly bands. My pen will see me through to pack the pecs and tighten the glutes. I'll write in abs, write out flab. With this pen, I write myself thin. But till then, as I work out the details, pass the Oreos. For my second poem, it's Whose Woods? Past the redbuds and lilacs, supermoon guides my path. Through the oaks and the pines, foolishly, I've called them mine. Raccoon backwards down a tree, bandit stares suspiciously. Who intrudes, him or me? Give each his space, let the other be. Deer drinking from the brook, alas, another path they took. Raises her head, sniffs the air, paws the ground, draws fawns near, contemplates to sound alarm, decides to them, I mean no harm, slowly drops her head to feed, decides to trust the best in me. My next selection is Counting Crows. I hear no music here. In sun's brilliance, they've lighted near. A single bird upon a branch, then another, late perchance. A couple more a little later, soon a dozen, not much greater. I hear them pecking at my door. Perhaps a murder, nothing more. My last selection is after Robert Frost stopping by the woods on a snowy evening. With sincere apologies to Mr. Frost, I entitled this Frost Sorrows. Whose woods these are? Don't know.
Don't care. A big box store we're planting here. We'll fill the pond and fell the trees. Those cardinals sit in aisle 3. These hickories all the squirrels have sought will become a giant parking lot for those tender souls seeking peace. Find somewhere else for your release. This one-lane road will never do. It will be wider with striping too. The zoning codes won't be the same. Not a problem for old what's his name. So save all your indignant tears. We're breaking ground this time next year. But please remember to share your thoughts for burial under the parking lot. And more to come before you weep. And more to come before you weep. Thank you very much for the time, and thank you for organizing this.
Thank you. Thought-provoking. Kim? Sorry, Sue Kidd, would you read for us, please?
Yes. And this is really an excerpt from Randy's book, Nature Walking with Cancer, Reuniting the Human Spirit with the Soul of Nature. This is thin places. Heaven and earth, the Celtic saying goes, are only 3 feet apart. But in thin places, that distance is even shorter. An Apache proverb pushes this thought one step further. Wisdom sits in places, they say. Thin places are where heaven and earth collapse and we're able to catch glimpses of the divine or the transparent. Thin places are the sanctuaries where we bring ourselves to reunite our spirit with the soul of nature. To the ancient pagan Celts and later the Christians, thin places included mesmerizing settings like the wind-swept Isle of Ionia, now part of Scotland, or the rocky peaks of Croag Patrick. Typically, a thin place is like that, a high peak or an area of beauty where the cycles and the wind of nature prevail. But your personal thin places can occur anywhere. Perhaps a favorite temple or a church that offers a personal invitation to prayer, or atop a lonely hillock on a tall grass Kansas prairie where you are walking, or big blue stem grasses rattle their seeds overhead where the winds undulate the grasses into a sea of waves, or a quiet pub with a hand-hewed back bar and chiseled beams overhead where the beer is always cold and the conversation quiet and warm, or that special place in the woods with its oaken moss-covered windfall as the perfect place to sit and recompose. In short, a thin place can be anywhere that inspires, calms, or excites our inner beings. Any place that connects us with the other. Any place that enhances our lives and transforms us into our essential selves. Walking in nature. It's early March 2019, about 9 months after my surgery and 9 months into chemotherapy. I feel almost fully gestated into the new me. I walk now with the aid of my walking sticks. Daily I walk, except on those days when the chemo poisons have turned me into a schniveling, pitiful wimp curled up on the couch. I walk, and sometimes I need to force myself to walk, because walking is my gateway and my prescription for staying alive. I walk in nature, and the nature provided me along city streets because nature is my ultimate healer. My ultimate healer. I walk along city sidewalks because I trip and stumble, even on uneven ground. Whereas I once was able to run right through the grasp of a mean-ass linebacker, now a tuft of grass can trip me up. My daily walks are out the back door and into the sidewalks that take me on 1 or 2 mile round trips. All of this gives me a fair look at the circle of a suburban nature within a mile radius. In that circle of nature, there's an empty field nearby where ruts of the Oregon Trail are still visible and where a family of red-tailed hawks and at least one fox family all live. And there's a cut into the layers of limestone along Wakarusa Drive where a hibernaculum of black rat snakes spends the winter. There's a small forest of cedars where you can walk the gravel trail and almost feel the scent of cedar easing your mind. And there's our own village swale, a detention pond filled with native plants that attract a host of birds and butterflies. The awe-inspiring grandeur of nature can creep up on you and come at you from very strange and oddball places, from directions unexpected. Within my walking circles, there are many. Thank you. Contact Anamkara Press for your copy.
Thank you, Sue. Thanks for reading. Beth Gully, would you read for us?
Yeah, my name is Beth Gully, and I have a book called Frog Joy from Anamkara Press, and I'll read 3 poems. This is called No Directions Included. Sunday morning alone, and I'm finally ready to open the box postmarked 6 months ago. Boards and screws, disassembled parts of a bookcase tumble to the floor. A warning in 5 languages to follow all assembly directions. The only paper in the set. No directions included. I assume that means to do what I want. To observe the parts, to remember past experiences. Leftover tools in the junk drawer. Patience and my cat help me figure it out. Put it all together. This is called Echoey Messenger Channel. It's for my son who is studying abroad. Echoey Messenger Channel. You call and I can't talk, wandering the bookstore as I am, Allende's book under my arm, wishing you were small, standing by the train table, not just waking up in Invercargill, trying to communicate through an echoey messenger channel. I am like a bird collecting pages to repair my nest now that my chicks have flown away. My son is not lost, but he is also not here. I am reading for the thread to pull to keep my story moving forward without him. And then my last poem is for my sister. And I wrote it recently because the Battle for Fallujah's anniversary, the 20th anniversary was, I don't know, about 6 months ago. So maybe it's a little longer than that, but was the impetus for the poem. So it's called Holding My Breath for my sister. There she was, the little girl whose strawberry shortcake pajamas matched mine, who slept in the upper bunk until we grew old enough for canopy beds, who walked with me up the hill to elementary school, then rode the public bus to high school alongside me, who I was supposed to be watching at the pool when she cut her chin on the diving board. But now, no longer a girl, but a grown-up Marine. She called to say she was back after a year in Fallujah, and as I took a deep breath, I realized I'd been holding it, frozen, like a prayer for a whole year, believing if I didn't breathe, she would come home. Thank you. And thanks for organizing this.
Thank you. Wonderful. Amber Fraley, would you read next?
Thanks, Mickey. I can't take any credit for organizing this. Mickey did all of it. So, although I do work with her at Anamkara, I'm also a journalist. I also had the pleasure of helping to judge the Anamkara stories this year. And Bruce, if you're still here, I really enjoyed your story very much. It was pretty awesome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was very cool. So I kind of feel bad because Conlon has heard this. I did this the other night at the replay. I don't write a lot of poetry, but I've been fooling around with it again lately. And I have a potty mouth. I apologize. This is called Processed Meats Bitch. I see a turkey sandwich chiding me from the menu. You should pick me. Make good choices. Think of your weight and your heart. I have ordered and consumed many turkey sandwiches, lovely things that tasted of angels and arugula and cranberries and sprouts. And my heart did sing and rejoice, and my arteries thanked milady for treating us nice. But lately I've been pretending I don't know who they are, my heart and arteries, and I've given myself over to salami and prosciutto and pancetta and spicy Mr. Capicola. And it is so delicious, so enticing. Garlic, paprika, onion, pepper, salt, salt, salt. Processed meats, bitch. They are the cocaine of meat, the heroin of meat. And my big boned Midwestern genes, originally from the land of processed meats, sausages, frankfurters, bratwurst, mortadella, pancetta, kielbasa, cry out for those indecent, fatty, organ based Franken meats, and I am powerless to say no. And I got one more. For whatever reason, I'm a Gen Xer, so I grew up on all the 80s music. Back in the day, I was not a fan of Billy Idol, really. Like, I liked some of his songs, wasn't particularly a fan of his music. For some reason, over COVID, I decided I'm a Billy Idol fan, and I don't defend that. I'm like, you can make fun of me for that all you want. But anyway, I just wrote this. I might fool around with it a little more, but this is called Billy Idol is Sick of Your Bullshit. Billy Idol was sad for a second when he learned he didn't make it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's mellowed Billy in his golden years, a grandfather who advocates for clean air and water conservation, and it might have been nice to be recognized by his peers. But then Billy Idol thought, fuck you, fuck all of you, because Billy Idol is one of the original punks from Stanmore, England, in a band appropriately named for my generation, Generation X, when the kids thought they had no future and wanted to give the finger to the world. Even though the other punks sometimes made fun of Billy Idol and said he wasn't a true punk. In fact, Johnny Rotten from the Sex Pistols called Billy the Perry Como of punk. Billy found fame and fortune not in jolly old England, but the States, where his classic movie star looks launched him to superstardom on MTV. A punk who isn't a punk, a pop punk star, not quite 80s hair metal, and not quite punk or pop. A former MTV god in an age without MTV. Sounds pretty punk to me. But Billy Idol doesn't need your platitudes and tin statues. He's Billy fucking Idol. The rocker kicked out of Thailand by the army for trashing his hotel room. The man who almost lost his leg in a motorcycle accident and had to film the video for Cradle of Love from his hospital bed. He's a grandpa now with an extra son he didn't know about until recently because he's Billy Idol. So screw you, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Billy Idol doesn't need England or MTV or your Rock and Roll Hall of Fame bullshit. He's Billy fucking Idol. Thank you.
Thank you, Amber. Thank you. I am our next one in line. I'm going to try and do it. I can see what I'm reading. Okay. I have 3 short poems. One's called The Future, haiku. The winter wind blew, a tempest of tomorrows. We select the future. The second one is called Sweet Potato Man. He looked at me with rutabaga eyes, a wrinkled old vegetable staring blindly, blandly, barely moving. So I had to look hard at his chest, watching for the rise and fall to know his eyes registered that he saw me The old root vegetable stirred not an inch, seated on the fading flower divan, his tendrils growing down, 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 past the couch, past the stained carpeting, faintly reeking of dog urine and mold, right on into the earth, securing him like a decomposing tree trunk stump to his environs. I cleared my throat and approached. His rutabaga eyes scanned me and found me lacking. Coldly staring, his eyes held no question. One giant root of an arm guided me by slow, sweeping gesture to a chair opposite him. I sat and cleared my throat once more. Warty growths, like root nubs, sprouted from his doughy face, stiff, boar-like hair, brazen from some, making me think of cat whiskers or catfish or spring planting. I waited patiently until the rutabaga spoke, slow, deliberate, moist words of welcome, and I sank into my chair like some sweet potato, comforted by the dark brown earth. And this last one is called Black Holes. In an ever expanding universe, the Big Bang is just one of many. Black holes are where the entropy goes. It's very feminine, swallowed whole, disappearing into a point, and finally gathered into the Hawking dot. And they're lost. What we see is a new universe created from the remote future of a previous eon, Penrose said. It is a sequence of Big Bangs, like springing into a new future. Thank you. And now, will Julie Ann Baker Bryn speak for us? Julie? Are you here, Julie? You are. You have to unmute, though.
Yes.
There we are. No, wait. We still can't hear you.
Unmuted once more. Hopefully, third time's the charm. Talking. Thank you. You guys are all blowing my mind. This is awesome. And I would do the shameless self-promotion and say I spent $12 each to own juliebrand.org and juliebrand.com. But they're not working right now, so directly to that. All right. So this was published in Newman University's Archaeopteryx a few years back, and sadly that is no longer published, but the good folks of Newman University's English department have gone on to bigger and better things, so we'll make it a world a beautiful place. This does not really follow our theme, but it does follow the theme of a Zoom meeting. It's called Calling Apollo. Of course, there are technical difficulties. We expect them always. Cross cable, channeling the babble of mysterious tongue, making eternal feedback, static of the message. We lose control, disconnect from the motherboard, not fathom the volume of 11 dimensions. Then wonder, fill ourselves with awe, and prophecy finally sings. After all, these voices which do appear are simple, elemental, organic bits mixed by creatures who follow an intersection, multiple radiant spheres, and mostly just barely succeeding. But we do succeed. Then triumph. Exhale our sighs of disbelief as truth manifests right before us, where we scarcely had earthly reason being. A revelation in critical vibration, an oracle of healing, a lyric of love. Fortunate witnesses, we, the miracles the earth, both hearers and hosts. Now, arrival. If you are going to bar the door, force us to follow. You insist for our own healing. pull us through pain pathways, stimulate cilia. We have no other choice than to swallow, to inspire, dream, or redeeming. And that's pretty much the longest poem I've ever written in my entire life. This next one just got selected for WSU's Microcosmos, which is probably in print as we speak. It is called Bearable. Sometimes you don't need the warmth of the blanket. You just need the robin's nest to still be snug in the tree, the rescue pup still wriggling on your lap, the trees in the orchard still heavy with pears, the vast salt ocean still teeming with whales, the mama still be alive, so alive. Well, you just need the comforting, reassuring, holding you tight to the universe weight of it. So, do one last, like, haiku. That's really it. This one, I don't know why, but somehow it won the WC Japanese Crystal Association contest recently. Called Natural Flora. I know you're not supposed to title them, but I think I like untitled stuff. Okay. Weave in the brick road. I'll hold nature where I can, or it takes me.
Thank you. And I hope everybody stays on till the end. I've got a couple of requests for you at the very end. So if you can, wait till the end. And our next reader is Annette Hope Billings.
Good evening, everyone. After almost 69 years of being a B near the beginning of the alphabet, I kind of liked this reverse alphabet. My name is Annette Hope Billings, and to find out more about me, you're welcome to visit my website. I love feedback, and it's Annette, A-N-E-T, full of hope, all one word, .net, AnnetteFullOfHope.net. The first poem that I will share with you this evening is called An April Evening. An April evening may still call for a shawl over shoulders, a light cloak to cover clavicles, a sweater sworn to warmth, or a lover's arm to chase away chances of chill. This next one was inspired by a photograph of Lake Superior, which I've not yet seen in person, but I will this fall. It's called Cerulean. You had me. I was convinced before my toes sunk into your sandy warmth. My mind made up before the breeze rustled the fine hairs on my brown arms. I acquiesced before sun, akin to skin, covered my face, neck, shoulders. I was yours. Before your smells wafted through my nostrils, before the lapping sound of your waves strode, toes pointed into my ear canals, I gave in. There at your shoreline, I fully succumbed to all the blues of your water, of your sky, taken in as fully as I had ever been by any lover. I forgot my own name, content to just be called yours. And the last one, indelible. You cannot erase me. I am written in ink, in marker too permanent to fade or bleed. Go ahead. Shred all the paper I am written on. Burn every volume of me as though the ashes hold no weight. Do you see this? It is not only melanin, it is indelible ink. Try as you might, conspire as you may, you cannot erase me. You will hear me knock at your bolted door. Watch a book bearing my name fall from a forgotten shelf too high to be within your pale reach. There will be a pop-up on your oh so top secret screen, flashing my image, and you, fool, will realize that not only am I back, I was never gone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Annette. We have two more readers. First, Stephanie Barrows.
I hope the 4 minutes doesn't include trying to figure out the technology. Hi, everybody. Just a quick note. I've been listening the whole time, and I turn off the video. It's because I'm listening, but I need to walk around and kind of get the jitters out. So I've been listening the whole time, just in case you're like, where'd she go? Or maybe you didn't notice. But anyway, I am a writer. I'm a poet. And writing since I was in grade school. Also a music producer and a composer, and now an artist. I've been creating my album covers and creating art for the music I want to release. Do not yet have a website or a Substack, but that has been in development up here. And my artist name, as far as my electronic music, is Spiral Dragonfly. So if you go on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, you hear some of my beginning stuff. If you're like, wow, this sounds a bit rough, tune in a month later and you'll hear it sound a little more polished. So, anyhow, I have 3 poems. Don't know if I have time for them all, but with your permission, I wanted to try and experiment and recite one of them with music. Do you think that would work?
You can try. I'll probably cut you off at 4 minutes, but you can do the music. That's fine.
Okay, so let's see. And now my brain blank on where to find it. Okay, there it is. So I've only practiced this once or twice. So if it turns out it's awful, just stick your fingers in your ears, and I'll just turn off the music and keep reading. No, I am not offended. This is a new thing. So, all right. And I created the music too. This is pretty basic thing I did over spring break. Dragon. Awe. Witness the reverent return of glittering bugs and lightning. Remind us that loving words illumine all cultures, all beings. Form your words from the heart's open mouth. Allow the eternal glowing river to expand and flow. Sweep the energetic debris from glands, organs, and bones. Breathe awareness into your muscles, nervous tissues, and veins. Awaken to a cooling sensation of a dragon's early spring thaw. Reborn. It is balance, erring on the side of love without throwing yourself into fire. Perhaps the dragon will find its fire cooler than a spring lake, and so allow the silent insurrection of a peaceful heart to bloom. Thank you. And the next one is Tadiki, which I actually wrote probably close to 20 something years ago when I was still studying and teaching Aikido and meditation. So it's been a while. And these are all from a book I've yet to publish. Let's see if I can find it. And my brain just went kaput. Okay. All right. Tadiki, other power, whispering earth sonnets, songs of the wind, sonatas of the rain, symphonies of the sun. a brilliant sound. Can you hear it? Tariki, that other power, an expansion of light, a blending and gathering of colors blinds my vision, then restores my sight. Can you see it? Tariki, the other power, moving rivers through my bones. The earth is changing, her energy is shifting, moving, growing. Spring is already here, a rebirth in our dormancy. Can you feel it? Tariki, the other power, a revitalization of truth. A shift is occurring. Be ready, remain aware. Tariki. I don't know how much time I have left.
Lovely. If you have one more, you can do it.
Okay. All right. This one I also wrote quite a bit ago. I like to monkey with haiku forms and kind of combine them with free verse. So this is a series of haiku. Leap, a haiku series. A revolution. It comes slowly from within, joins east, west, north, south. Wars overshadowed, lives examined, redefined, evolving lifescapes. Earthquakes, hurricanes, volcanoes, thunderstorms, hail, transforming earthscapes. Face another truth. Our world's climate is changing. Our lives are in flux. Evolution's here, and human beings must choose. Make your leap of faith.
Thank you.
Thank you. And our last reader is Marie Asner. We've reached the beginning of the alphabet. Marie, you need to unmute.
Okay, all set to go. The end of the alphabet. I've been writing poetry for most of my life, but I've retired from 40 years as being a church organist, and I've gone into a new career of being a professional film critic, and you can read my reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. But today I've got, it's April, Poetry Month. We're still in April, and I have two shorter poems celebrating spring, and then that last poem that I said that would end everything. So here we go. Poem number 1 a.m. To celebrate the first day of spring, the rose-tinted kitchen beckons with stemmed wine glasses on the sideboard. Young maple tree across the street waves his thin branches with abandon, while oak trees move in cozy unison. Across the field and along the horizon, mountains boast of warm friendships to come, while riding the sky with an electric whip, Aurora Borealis licks its lips in anticipation of the last dance card. Invited guests stand in awe as the spring soiree begins. And here comes, thank you. Here comes the second one, River Life. Our kayaks float like feathers into the slow current. See the wind move through branches as we pass the walking basswood, still secure in their place and wanting to touch us with whispers of changes to come. They seem to breathe with us in their coats of frosty black bark. We continue past the gentle trees and into the center current that will carry us downstream. We look back for a last glance and see the basswood are now in the middle of the channel, going to visit their birch friends on the other side. We turn and look ahead at the silver mist on the river with stars closing down for the night after a celestial show, and dawn ready to spike the river with gold rays. And the last one is something that all of us have encountered. It's called The Proofreader. Today's headlines scream fraud on Wall Street. Martha Stewart's on page 2, but the next page has a story about two brothers, a puppy, and a well. When the pup slipped, the larger boy lowered the smaller one by holding by holding onto his jacket. Then the smaller boy handed up the pup, but jacket was slippery. Mom said to stay with your brother, so he slid down the bank. A lady jogging by called for help, but the rest of the story is cut off by an ad for carpeting.
Thank you, Marie.
You're welcome.
Lovely to end with a little comic relief. Thanks. I want to thank you all for being here and reading this evening. And I appreciate Stephanie Barrow's recommendation. And I'm going to give it to our listeners on YouTube that perhaps they want to close their eyes and lay down and listen to this reading of poems. This was a wonderful, wonderful reading of your all's poems, and I really enjoyed it myself. And I'd like to end with Randy Kidd's words. Thank you, Sue, for reading Randy's words, that wisdom sits in the thin places, and that one of those thin places was here with you all this evening. So thank you again. And I would ask you, a final thing would be to please thank Bruce Rolfe, please congratulate Bruce Rolfe for his winning of the Amity, I cannot speak now. Please help me to congratulate Bruce Rolfe for his being the finalist, second place winner of the Amity Literary Prize for his book, Zyzzygetic. Thanks, Bruce. Good job.
Zyzzygetic Journey.
Zyzzygetic Journey. Thank you, Bruce.
You've left
really great sci-fi story.
Absolutely awesome. And if you all want to send me, email me any links, I will put them in the email below so that your listeners to this video can go to find you in the future. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. We'll see you in the future. Bye.